Everybody thinks the life of a YouTube star is easy, but let me tell you, my life is just as hard as yours. Middle of a customer's call today, had to run to the supply house to get a part. Parking lot, supply house, turn the key, start the truck, doesn't start. Kind of half started, but didn't. Last couple of weeks I've been thinking the starter motor was sounding a little funny, but then I was like rationalizing that it was all in my head, but it wasn't. The starter motor really was bad. So tow truck back to my house there, because the gas station, I called him up and hopefully he would fix it right away if I had to tow it to him, but he said he was all booked up, he couldn't do it till tomorrow. So I ran to the auto parts store, confiscated the wife's car, and picked up a starter motor. Had the truck towed back here to the driveway. And we're going to do the starter motor, and I'm going to make a video and teach my YouTube friends how to replace a starter motor. The skills are basically for all cars and trucks and vans and stuff. Although this is a Chevy V8, the skills taught by me to you right now, learn them, are cross to other makes, models, cars, trucks. It's a starter motor. So the number one thing is you want to disconnect the negative lead on the battery, and that's really important because one of the wires that goes to the starter, it's direct to the battery, and as you take it off, and that would be like one of these big lugs here, as you take it off, if it happens to touch any part of the truck, frame, engine, whatever, it's going to short out to the battery. I don't know how many amps the battery, 700, 800, 900 cold starting amps, and within seconds your car, truck is going to be burst into flames and just burn. So disconnect the negative battery lead and you won't have to worry about that. Then it's just 2 bolts that hold the starter in, and there's wires that we have to hook up. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's get down to it and get this done. Get back on the road. Oh, by the way, because this is a big V8, the starter motor was $198 with a $50 core, which means when I bring the old one back in the box with the receipt, I'll get a $50 credit. So it's really $148, not $198. These little 4-cylinder cars and stuff like that, the starters could be anywhere from 60, 70, 80 bucks on up. But big Chevy V8, it's a big starter, it's expensive. Here's our negative battery lead. We want to take it off and make sure that it's not going to accidentally touch that battery again while we're under the truck working. So we want to tuck this far away in a safe spot. That will isolate the battery from the truck. Nothing is energized in the truck anymore. One thing you may notice as you do something like that is the computer actually resets at this point. So for the next 30 or 40 miles, it might not run as you usually are used to, as the computer relearns the engine and the car and stuff. So keep that in mind, but it's not a big deal. I mean, it won't run horrible. It just may not be what you're used to. The starter on this Chevy pickup truck, it's passenger side up under behind the front tire there on the passenger side. Tools you're going to need: I have a 13mm socket, long extension to my ratchet wrench. I got 2 small adjustable wrenches, one planning for these larger bolts here, and the other one for this little tiny bolt here. So get everything handy. I got some gloves on so I don't get all grungy. Here's our starter motor. This thing here, that's 1 bolt, and there's the other bolt. Although you might have to finagle it a little bit. This is a heat shield. We want to take off the old one because we're going to put it on a new one. So we switched to a 13mm wrench to get these cables off. So we got the cable and the wire off. Now we can slide the old one out. So you just want to eyeball the old one and the replacement one, just to make sure that basically it's the right one and we're not wasting our time with the wrong starter that the auto parts guy gave us. The heat shield gets clamped on. Well, actually, we might put this on afterwards because we want easy access to this little bolt here for the little wire and the bigger bolt for the bigger wire. We got a bolt and a lock washer. We got a bolt and a lock washer on each one, so set those within easy reach. And now we're gonna finagle it back up there, hook up our cable, hook up our little wire, stick it into the bell housing and put our 2 bolts in, clip our heat shield on, and basically we're good to go.